Hi, and hello, future people. How's it going? It's me, your friend, Chris. So, let's just stick with the low lighting. Why not? I wanted to talk about a few ideas, and I've thought in the past maybe I may be rehashing some things, but that's all right. Maybe until things change, I'll just keep talking about it. I want to talk about medicine and plants. All plants must be legal, and under the law of God and country, it is legal. You know, I really think that when people enforce laws and do things, often they're doing it in spite. Let's think about the wonderful plant cannabis. It's not a perfect plant, but it's legal in every way in America right now, except in a form of THC, which is part of the plant which helps people a lot. Can you have too much of it? Yeah, you can. If you have a lot, can it be unhealthy? Yeah, I think so. The body needs chemistry and balance. But that's all right, that's what the world is. Too often, we judge people for death, and we judge a plant just because someone dies. But everyone dies. Everyone that's been on this planet basically has died. I mean, there's stories of a few people that maybe haven't. Where do people go? What do they see? I've had a few experiences that were not from Earth, you know. I do know Earth is a place of a lot of fear, a lot of fear. And a lot of people that have near-death stories talk about a place of pure love, or maybe sometimes a few people have seen a hell. My thought with that is, just because you've seen it, what's really out there? Do people in heaven, do they wear clothes? Are they on a planet? Or is that just an idea that we see in something much greater? The thought with hell is that it encourages a judgment here in this current hell. It enforces it through punishment and fear and law. My friends, we've been called to be free. In the beginning, there was no shame, no judgment. And it's time to get back to that. There's no such thing as really law, police, government. They're ideas that people enforce. If our ideas destroy our neighbor, that's a bad idea. Plants are really important. There's a certain plant, it's a leaf, it's called kratom, and it's not perfect. You get it, it's a leaf, and they make it in a powder form, and it has definitely helped me in my life. It's helped me feel calmer at times, it's helped my body. See, even right now, my body is a little jittery, but I kind of injured it a while ago, so that's nothing new. It's important that we make plants legal because there's a lot of synthetic and chemicals put in pills and put in street drugs. I really dislike the word drug because it doesn't define something well. It just slanders, and slander is not a definition. Somebody says, do you have drugs? What's a drug, my friend? Take a lot of vitamin B, a lot of vitamin C, you'll have energy. Is that a drug? It affects your chemistry. What is a drug? The question is, do you have something that is destructive? And why do you have something that's destructive? Because we're all trying to escape pain and feel happy. And no one's a criminal for that. It's time to stop fighting and start working together. It's unconstitutional, in my understandings, to harm people. And the current laws that allow us to slave, imprison, to debt, and in jail is very harmful. They are people and they have value. If you've been harmed by somebody, then that harm is real, and we need to heal that harm and heal that person who's harming you so they don't harm anymore. Because even the person who's doing bad has value. I have a nephew, and sometimes he gets real irate. He's so much better now. But his dad, Sam, sometimes would just go give him a hug and love him. And the boy that was angry would calm down. If we respond violence with violence, that's what we'll get. Each person has the value of a unique kingdom, of a unique government. Nobody has the right to come and imprison a unique person. We need public transportation, because so often it comes down to that. If you're not feeling good, you can get in an accident. If you're too tired, if you're sick, if you're elderly and you can't see, how is that not the most important thing in transportation? I plan on not running for government, but changing governments. Had a couple of dreams with Donald Trump in it. There's a lot of hatred to him. I want to remind everyone that he's a person. And he has a sex drive. And maybe sometimes he's spoken a little bit abusive. Maybe sometimes he has a little bit. People change. They can change. We should love them and help them change. If we just keep judging, we enforce what they've been. A lot of people on mental probiotics, on drugs, and we need to help them, create an atmosphere of love, kindness, and peace. We have to slow down. These bodies can only handle so much. When they get stressed, they begin to hurt. We should start living in communities, open the doors, get rid of poison, and slow down so that we can spend time and laugh together. Debts are going to be forgiven because ultimately it doesn't exist. We're going to live in the present, and we're going to stop people from harming other people. Though, in the current world, even when I jump with my nephew on a trampoline, if he lands on me, it hurts. And I could get angry, but it's not really his fault that gravity's here. He gets hurt a lot. He's a little kid, and I get hurt. So, hurt kind of happens. Let's try not to blame all hurt on individuals, because it was already here. We do have an enemy. An enemy is darkness, abuse, rage, and pain. If there were other aliens watching us, they would see a realm of chaos. Let's change. Why resist change? What is there anything to lose? There is nothing to lose. There's everything to gain. Because happiness is a great feeling. Being loved, being spoken to kindly is a great feeling. I've had a couple of dreams about Antarctica, and I do think in the future it's a possibility, and it could be metaphorical or it could be real, that Antarctica may be a place to live. And that's an unclaimed place. Though there are many bullies / governments from the past that say they own it. But now with the age of internet, we can all see that we're united. There is no line. There's no American. There's no Jew, no Mexican, no Chinese. Well, how far do you want to segregate yourself? To state, to county, to line? Many years ago, a couple miles was the enemy away if you're a tribe. We do border Russia, my friends, and Russians are people. And they, just like this whole world, has corruption in it. Americans have killed people. Russians have killed people. We both have. We're not enemies. There's no reason to fight. There is no fight. One nuclear bomb can kill the whole world. And in the end, what does it gain? So we just need everyone to slow down, isolate themselves, and think upon aggression and ask your spirit, ask the Creator to live in you. I don't know what to call the eternal being, Jesus, Yahweh, Allah. The word with Allah that many people get offended by, my friends, is that Allah often means rage. but so does many Christian gods mean that. I use the word plural because many people have different thoughts on who God is. I could meet two people that call themselves Christians, and one could hate homosexuals, and one could be a homosexual. One who knows God, as John said, is who walks in love and acts like God, who is kind. There is no judgment of people because evil is an eternal spirit that is temporary here, and it will be ceased to exist. No one is eternally guilty of evil because evil actually is played by the role and is the creator. And it only exists here that I understand. Because this world has one reason, an experience of sorrow. And there is some good in it, yes. We are in it. Animals are in it. There's trees. But there's still a lot of pain. We have a will to be free, but we're still trapped in a world. Does the man in prison have a free will? He has a will, but he doesn't really have the ability to act on his will. When we are imprisoning our siblings, our brothers, for crimes that they have not committed, it's very sad. We are so easily ready to throw people in jail. They've been given, I want to help teach police officers how to love people. It's our goal to serve and help and build. When we see officers, we should be happy because they're there to love, not to imprison. But many people have been abused, and abuse is what they know. I want to encourage everyone, us all, not to give power to abuse, not to follow one who says to give abuse, because they have no authority. Their only authority is coming from evil and judgment. And that is not God. That's not the eternal being. That's the God of this earth, the deity of hell. Do you know that beauty would never destroy someone forever, especially someone who's part of that being? It's incapable of it because that's the complete opposite. My heart would be shredded in a million pieces forever if I chose to harm someone forever. Am I kinder than the kind one himself? Is that even possible? Where would this idea come from? Look into your heart. Look into your soul. Remember, the religions you're being taught are the teachings of man. There is a real being out there. We don't need to fight about it. Let's ask, seek, and knock. And there has been a being that showed itself temporarily for a time as something that's not really there. Why? So that death and evil could exist. Yes, people have had these experiences with a God of earth, because that's been the point of life. You take your pain, your agony, your starvation, your diseases, your rejection from an eternal earth, and you go into a much more eternal eternity of taking all that into happiness. There's only one person responsible for evil, and that is the Creator. But it's for a reason. It's the complete opposite of God. So, my desire and goal is to be transformed into love and to have enough power to stop someone from molesting me and my friends. Death is release. It's good when people die. We suffer, they don't. You know, even the one who suffered the most will be freed. As crazy as it sounds, there is a plan. But we've been blinded to it, and we're in a circle, like, go to work, wake up, go to work, do this, smoke, drink, try a drug, talk to people, go to a church service, visit with friends. But there's always this desire in the heart to be greater loved. And I think there's a small population that has been granted with love. But most of the world doesn't know it. Most religions are slavery to a deity. Anger is death. It is Satan. It's destruction. Anger is not Yahweh. It's not the Eternal One. God, Jesus, Elohim. Is not defined by a book or the writings of man. Let him who say he knows God be kind, be generous. For your lips have been close to me, but your hearts have been far from me. Let our hearts reflect tenderness. Religion does not save. Belief is a thought. It is not an action. Of course, we can nitpick words, but follow the words and listen more to the idea behind it. You know, I'm not just expressing a word, I'm expressing an idea with a word. There's no real arguments to be had. There may be questions. I love questions. I want this world to know that I love you and I care about you, and I feel very limited in what I can do, and I have felt abused and slandered, and I felt afraid of a future to come, that I wouldn't be enough, that people will be upset that I can't do enough. I've been afraid that everyone will want an autograph or want to stand with me, and that wouldn't be what I'd want to do. I want to relate with people. I wouldn't want to be an idol. I want to love. I want to encourage growth and good hard work. You know, hard work that produces a fruit. I want to encourage health, that we would live as a community and care for each other. The fear of evil being in charge is coming to an end. That's my hope. How do we stop an abusive person? I've been praying on this, and I just hope that revelation will come. I hope that I have power to stop it. Because the fear of something bad happening is so often the motivator of waste and just time not used well in the mind. I don't like being afraid when I drive, of either being hit or being molested, or someone angry being behind me in a hurry. I think our traffic system must be better. The air system must be better. If I were to work with the current finances, I would ask people this. Would you rather give your money to gardens? Or would you rather give your money to weapons of war? Would you rather give your money to bringing clean water to somebody, or fear of being conquered? For one who is afraid is being beat already. As that cool story of the Buddhist monk goes, he was waiting in his temple, a man of God, a man of light, a man of love, For God is not a word. God is a spirit that dwells within our hearts and wakes up within us. No religion or language is Yahweh, is the Eternal One. I like the word Yahweh because it sounds nice. And it's older. There is no God of anger about a sound. So this Buddhist guy was being invaded in his temple, and his friends left. And some of you may know this. And he sat there, and he waited, and the invader came. And he threatened the man to harm him, saying, "Don't you know who I am?" And the man said, "You can attack my skin, you can attack my body, but my heart and my spirit you cannot have." I plan on stopping the molester so that we don't have to be afraid of that anymore. The molester is someone who threatens to harm and uses their power to destroy. Those who are wealthy, congratulations. Those who are poor, I feel great sadness and compassion for you. Those who are in anxiety and loss, I'm here to help. I want you to know that everyone and everything is saved. For we all are part of God, the one who's been around for forever, who is all beauty, could never, ever create something to molest it for eternity. That is evil. And evil only exists here. That I know of. I'm not sure what's all in all the stars. I don't know if there's life out there, or what kind of life. I know there's an eternal life and lots of it. But I don't know it logically. I don't know it historically. I just know it in my being, I suppose. But I really don't even know it. I don't know it. It was a beautiful feeling to be freed of shame. I was very kind, I think, my whole life. I tried to be. Sometimes it's been hard. Frustration has been there. I've tried to do things, being frustrated. I did wrestling quite a few years, and that was very excruciating to my body. I had conflict with my coach. There's misunderstanding. That's an interesting topic to bring up, because I'm talking so much broad, and then I isolate it down to one little thing. But I guess it's my experience. I felt starvation at times. It's very painful. It hurt very much. I felt my body more recently collapse, break, hyperventilate, drowned for years on end. Lack of energy, no energy. Misunderstanding, being judged. It goes on, but nothing new for really too many people. So, not really quite sure where I was going with that. This world is tough. It sucks. And if you are religious, or if you, not in a bad way, if you are part of a religion, and you look down on people, look at your heart. If you hate somebody, Look in your heart. I want to say something. I want to do something. I was going to pray, I think. I call God Father sometimes, but I don't really like that word, because well, that's something that I always say, so I don't get it. I say the word Jesus, but that's a weird thing for me to pray, because Jesus, is in me, and he's asleep, I think, or is. That's a very hypocritical thing of me to say. Very lying, deceptive, harmful thing to say. But I have to speak honest. Names and sounds. I'm just me. And what I am is in pain. So are y'all. I feel like I'm trying to get somewhere. I'm very afraid of being judged and hated. And I'm praying, I'm hoping with all my spirit, everything, Father, that you would deliver us, that you would set us free. Jesus, that you would come and resurrect in me, that your spirit would awaken in your people, that we'd be free, that I would have power to overcome darkness, that people would cease from fighting. The spirit realm would be real. And in whatever ways I'm wrong or prideful or confused or lying, you would free me from that. I don't take any pride in my past. It's mostly been death. Very, very disappointing. Lots of hatred, lots of pain. We know in part and we see in part. But when the Lord, when heaven, when the Savior of the universe, of all the galaxies of my heart, returns, the one who's always been talked about, but really hasn't ever been seen, would show up, Insanity is often followed by violence. Accusers look to destroy and isolate individuals by calling them names and bringing them down. I'm going to say this. I am not a name. I'm not a prophecy. I'm not a history. I'm just me. And I do have a destiny. And if I so happen to fulfill some things, I feel something very strongly in me saying, that I will. But I would never want to cause someone to stumble or be afraid or harm because of a title or a word. I want a new earth, a new heaven. I want power to overcome evil. I want power to heal. Speak languages, be made alive. Love myself, love my enemies. That people would see the spirit realm. I'm bored. I really am bored. Not the prettiest picture, huh? Sometimes I do things to maybe expose the molestation in people's hearts. Many people are seeking vengeance and destruction. Yeah. All right, well, not the greatest ending, but I do feel anger. I feel disappointment. Such a surprise to me that this is not really what my face looks like. It's actually mirrored. But I've always seen my face in a mirror. So it's always weird when I see how it actually looks. I'm like, oh, my eyes are not even... I feel insecure about that, but hopefully not for much longer. That heaven would come, that freedom would come, that aggression would cease, that abuse and debt and slavery of ownership of people would end, that love would reign, that no longer abuse would be that in power, but kindness would. I pray for an awakening of my heart. I pray for y'all to be able to forgive me if I've harmed you, if I've stolen from you, if I've hurt you, that you would give me the opportunity to make it right. That your goals would be to love and to help. And that would wake in your heart. There's a spiritual battle that's very real. And we're slaves to it. So take a rethink on Yahweh. We are in a cursed world, in a veil. Let God be a surprise. No one will go to hell. This is hell. No one will be judged forever. Evil will cease to exist. It's only being performed by God, who is all creation, who is the body that we're in, for a reason. It's very temporary. It's very minute. Well, thanks for joining me. And I pray that the judgmental hearts would be judged into light. That aggression would become compassion. But that we would be aggressive to stop aggression. Because I still think that if people violently came after me, or people I love, care about on this world, to harm them, I would try to do my best to stop them. We all are a government to ourselves. We do not serve a corrupt structure that uses its powers to murder and destroy because it has a title. We do not serve an idea. We all are children of heaven. So, let that sink in. Let us stop abusing. And let us be healthy. And hopefully, miracles will come. So, that's it. I know, it's pretty disappointing. That's an idea. Good night. Bye-bye.